Hi everyone, welcome back to Good or Good Enough. So I watched The Long Walk, and here's my little review. So this movie is pretty simple. It does change a lot from the books, which would disappoint the fans. A group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as The Long Walk, in which they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot. A quick summary for this film is that it is rated R, very heavy R. They show all the kills, sometimes up close, one or two worse ones. The movie is an hour and 48 minutes. It is based off the book by Stephen King. They do change some things, so don't expect the book story at all if you're expecting that. It is a psychological thriller directed by Francis Lawrence. It had a $20 million budget and has so far made $54 million at the theaters, and looks like it will peak at that amount. It has a 7-star average rating. Some kind of mixed reviews. A lot of people don't like it. They're fans of the books, and they disagree with the choices made for this film. Disappointing book adaptation for fans, and it does seem to be like kind of like a, you know, like the world, it's an alternate world. Everything's in chaos or something, where these people are forced to compete in this thing that seems to have been voted on and happens all the time. Like, it doesn't have any opposition from anybody. There seems to be no, like, everyone seems to be for it or brainwashed into accepting this long walk competition thing. I guess it is a revenge story in a way, and that is basically the summary for this movie. And so with that, we'll get into spoilers. Okay, so about an hour and 30 minutes, we find out that this kid is the major's son. Not sure if that's supposed to be a Star Wars joke, you know, that I am your father. I don't know, because it's Mark Hamill playing him. So he reveals that he's the major's son and feels disappointed or something, or let him down. His wish was going to be to have the major take him back in to his house or something. So then it keeps going. It's raining. They get to the area with all the fans and stuff, and it looks like one of these people are going to survive. If you read the book, I guess this guy survives, Garrity. They changed it for this to where Garrity sees his mom or something, kind of gives up or loses hope, whatever. The other kid wants him to win, so he kind of doesn't like that, goes to get him. And then Garrity tricks this guy, and we purposely don't hear the countdown or the warning. Then he gets shot. So, and then this guy, Garrity's wish is that he wants revenge because the major killed his father. So, that's pretty much it. This kid is the winner for this movie. Mark Hamill comes over, gives a little speech, kills Garrity. This kid's disappointed. He remembers Garrity's wish that he wants the gun to kill the major. So this guy remembers that and goes, I'm gonna do it for him. So we ask for the carbine, I believe. This guy goes, no, I want that one right now. He takes it, threatens to shoot the major, and then he doesn't want to do it. And then he says, this is for Garrity, and does it. So there he goes. He shoots him in for Garrity. And then I kind of like this. I don't get where everybody went. I think he's imagining it. He kills him. Everyone's gone or fled. I guess the authorities don't take him into custody for straight up manslaughter. So he walks off, and you think, I thought it was a fantasy. I thought this was like, oh, watch, something's going to happen. You know, I was like, oh, something's going to appear. And the only thing that appears is the credits for the movie. So I don't know. I'm very disappointed. I don't like this movie. I'm not a fan of this movie. I thought that there was going to be a crazier twist or something. Or when that guy walks away, I did not expect those credits to come up. I really didn't. Garrity does it in the book, but in the movie they changed it. So I guess they did that just so the book readers aren't like they're, caught off guard and not. So it's not the same for them, but I mean, it's hard to appeal, whatever, for like to write the movie for a new audience and then forget the old audience who knows the story. I mean, it's just another one of those Hollywood things, and I think it kind of ruined the movie a little bit. And those are the main spoilers for the movie. I did like some things from it, though, which is surprising. The emotional send-off at the beginning is pretty sad. It's pretty sad, though. And then at 6 minutes, there's a lot of funny. The dialogue is insane, but there are some kind of cool moments. I don't agree with the characters or their dialogue. I don't know who approved certain things. Did Stephen King not want them to use his dialogue or something? Or why didn't Stephen King write the dialogue? I have no idea. It's talking like for the point of filling, I would say. But there are some of those funny, a couple funny, conversations and stuff. This scene is pretty funny too. They're talking about like what they're gonna do when they win or something like that. Their dialogue, it is kind of funny though. And this is a good, funny scene that is good use of the dialogue. This part kind of, I liked the idea that we're with the main group for a while, and then it finally kind of goes off to another group. But they're not like a real group like the main characters. It is kind of cool. I feel like maybe if we had met more of these characters, we would have been a little bit more tricked into knowing who is gonna like be the final winner, unless you read the book, of course. This scene is pretty intense too. It's after Garrity has it says some crazy stuff to the other guy. They go walking up a steep slope up a hill, and it is pretty intense because now they all have to hurry up, and it's just, you can really feel the emotional, like something's happening, the impending death. This spot, I think they take out like 5 or 6 people, because going up the hill really is a real challenge. So didn't expect so many people to be dropped, to be taken out. This guy breaks his ankle. It's pretty intense at times. But yeah, again, this is a good scene because it really increases the tension, and it's more of like you already know what's going to happen. You're basically just waiting for it. Like lots of times you think that like the main character will die, and then it's kind of interesting that they do that at the end, that they have him actually win. For it being sad, whatever, there's these like this good scene where Garrity's walking, his mom is on the side of the road, so he goes to see her really quick, apologizing, gets all scared, and the friend tries to reel him back in and keep him under control, keep him focused. I mean, pretty brutal. Oh yeah, and then it does lead into a really good scene. I don't know if it's a long take, but or a long walk, but it is a long dialogue. It's a long conversation here. It is pretty cool, very emotional, he really gives him like a good pep talk. It's pretty cool because they're like totally like opposite of each other, and a review says that though, that this guy on the right is like more positive and the other guy is negative, something wants revenge and all that. This moment is long, but I would say that this is the best conversation or use of the dialogue in the whole movie though. So those are all of the cool moments that I liked in this movie. Things I'd fix in this film would be, I hear a lot of echoing, I think, of from the characters, but the trivia says they walked out like actually outside. At 22 minutes 53 seconds, Peter asks, "What's up with you and the Major?" and no answer, but he answers the next question. I don't understand that. At 22 minutes 53 seconds, Peter asks, "What's up with you and the Major?" to Garrity, but he doesn't answer. I don't get that, because we find out later he wants revenge. He's there because the Major killed his dad, but what would lead this other guy to ask him, "What's up with you and the Major?" And then he doesn't answer, and then he gets his canteen of water, and then the guy gives it to him, and he walks away, and Garrity taps the gun like a knock on wood, and the other guy asks him, "Why'd you do that?" And he says, like knocking on wood. And I'm like, so you answered that question, but you didn't answer what's with you in the major? That's for us. We're not supposed to know until later. But they could I just don't know. I didn't see the reason why he asked him that. The next thing I would fix is this scene here. It's cool that they go to a new group of people to talk to. The blonde kid, the hick kid, is trying to antagonize this other kid and kind of like get him to get mad or something, I guess. And he's able to piss him off enough that he tries to swing at him like a couple of times. And he keeps egging him on until you get to this point where he goes to punch him and he falls, and all of a sudden he has momentum. I don't understand how that would work, first off. It's just weird. I'd fix this too. They ask this guy to go away from them because he smells. He decides to run up ahead in like where they're walking, and they're still going to smell it. It's just nitpicking, but I mean, the guy would have go behind him, go downwind. This part I didn't understand. They're walking near each other. Sometimes they can hear each other. Sometimes they can't. They're both having like a private conversation, and the blonde kid is apologizing to Garrity that he's been like, you know, mean, whatever. He decides to like have this Garrity go tell him like to like that he's sorry and to accept him into the Three Musketeers group or whatever, the friend group, the thing that they've created. But then he goes and tells him, and I'm like, they're right there. Why wouldn't he hear him talk? They're right there. So I didn't understand that. Maybe that goes along with the echo that I heard. I swear it sounded like they were, you know, in the studio, whatever. But why? They apparently did walk. This would be really easy to film, you know, just on a stretch of land somewhere or whatever, just out in rural America. You could do all these scenes probably pretty privately, I would think. I don't think a lot of people are going to be bothering these people. So those are the issues I had with the movie. Besides the weird dialogue at times, it's just, how do you fill this movie? If they had dropped the last 20 minutes off, they would have only had to done an hour and a half. It would have been less pointless dialogue. You know, something like, it just didn't, it seemed to be dialogue like filler in a way, or they had to really come up with that and it wasn't really that good. The next thing is, how does this movie look? I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't see, it's framed well, and I guess it's like, it's okay, but it's not like, it's not amazing, like Interstellar maybe, or Tenet, or something a little more planned. It's pretty basic, and yeah, so, and then the sound, I guess the sound was okay. It's not really a sound related kind of a movie like a John Wick or something like that, or any Christopher Nolan film for that matter. So my final thoughts for this film are, first off, how is this even possible to be able to walk that long? It feels like the dialogue is just filler, but not clever filler. How do you fill a movie with dialogue about nothing? The 20 minutes less would have helped, I think. It would have reduced the unnecessary dialogue. A lot of long talking scenes. And so, you know, the dialogue has to be really good. Well, they could have had Tarantino write all of these, you know, the dialogue. Why do the characters antagonize each other and then get surprised by the outcome? I don't get that. They talk to each other, and then they say mean stuff, and then they're very surprised when the guy wants to fight back. I do not understand that. Another thing is, how come David Johnson's character is so hard to understand? You hear a word, and then one word gets mumbled, and then you hear the other one, and you're like, oh, okay. And you're like, wait, what? And then you're thinking about it, and then he's saying more, and you're like, oh, now I missed the next line. I don't know. It felt like I don't know. No one noticed that. The editors, the sound guy were saying like, hey, Mr. Johnson's not speaking clearly enough. He needs to enunciate some more. And, you know, and then tell him, and then redo the scene. I was confused about where this took place, because it seems to take place in another world, obviously, but in 1970, or something, because at one point you see a dated car from the era, and it's obviously 60s or 70s, you know, somewhere along those times. But I got confused because it seems like this is now. And I feel like, you know, the same way Wes Anderson did the screen, like it's 1:1, whatever, and then 4:3, and then, you know, the aspect ratio changes, you know, in according to the era that they're in. I believe the Grand Budapest Hotel goes back to like 1930s, so the screen gets older and then it comes back to new time, whatever. Like, you can tell. I feel like if this movie isn't now, like, you see cars in the background and they're obviously from the 60s or 70s, but they should have indicated that a little bit more by maybe doing the screen like square or black and white or grainy maybe, or something to indicate that it's not from now. Because I just saw Alien Romulus with David Johnson in it as Andy, and now here he is again, and now I'm like, oh, here's another modern movie. Oh wait, there's no phones. Wait, I'm confused. And I think it's because, and like, it took me out of it, because I think these actors are not, they're from now. They're not from back then. So they don't look like from the time period, you know? Like Alien Romulus is in the future, but then this is in the past, but we just saw David Johnson twice. And it's very strange. So yeah, I had trouble understanding that stuff. And then the end, I didn't get where it was gonna go. I was waiting for a heavier twist. I don't know what I was expecting, or what I would have done, or even be like satisfied with. I mean, if it is like the reality is that like this is what happens, then you can't do too much. You can't have it be like the Major and Garrity are both in on it, and they're tricking him, the other characters, or something. Or the whole thing is fake, or it's all in his imagination. It's not. It's literally Garrity wants revenge on the Major, joins this event, and hopes that he'll win, and then the other guy isn't like that, but in the end turns out to be just like that, getting revenge for Garrity. So it's very, very weird. So with all of that being said, my summary for this film, again, is that it is rated R. It's very heavy. Rated R. They show all the kills. It's always one or two worst ones. It's an hour and 48 minutes. I think it's too long. It could have been shorter. Based off the Stephen King story, but it does change stuff, so be expecting of that. Psychological thriller, directed by Francis Lawrence. It had a $20 million budget. It has made $54 million. Has 7 stars average rating. It seems to be a disappointing book adaptation for fans, and it does seem to be a revenge story with, I don't know, I guess the twist is okay, but it's not amazing, and it doesn't entirely go anywhere. It looked like he was gonna like accept the fact that, you know, whatever. I guess he didn't have control over the guy deciding to get revenge for Garrity, but I think that this guy's sudden change, like, in character is just like, it's too sudden and too weird. I don't know, like, he's supposed to be like a positive character, or like he's supposed to be not like Garrity, and then he just kills the guy anyways, and then doesn't go to jail for manslaughter. So that leads me to my final rating for this film. Since I didn't like this movie, nor did I read the book, I have to say this movie is good enough. And that wraps up this review of The Long Walk. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you saw this movie, comment down below about what you thought. If you're watching anything else or look forward to watching anything else, comment down below as well. And I'll see you in my next review.